remember they're filming me and changing my voice because they're jealous. This video is about Isaiah 41, and there's a lot of scriptures that overkill when I'm right about Proverbs 34. There's Psalm 18:42. There's Jeremiah 4:13. Okay, there's Jeremiah 13:24, and on and on and on. But let's look at this one where it talks about the first and the last. Okay. Isaiah 41. Be silent before me, you islands. Let the nations renew their strength. Let them come forward and speak. Let us meet together at the place of judgment. Who has stirred up one from the east, calling him in righteousness to his service? He hands nations over to him and subdues kings before him. He turns them to dust with his sword, to wind-blown chaff with his bow. Again, it says that he subdues kings before him. He turns them to dust with his sword, to wind-blown chaff with his bow. So obviously, in God's spirit, I'm defeating the opposition. Now, recently, some people have commented, trolls, as you know, I'm sure you all know what a troll is. And it's interesting because, it's as opposed to somebody who's noble, of noble character, a noble warrior. Okay, a troll, right? A goblin, a demon. Okay, and they started saying, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, and the things that we'd expect trolls to say. Well, first of all, how do we know, using their own social norm, kind of popular culture, that I'm right and they're wrong? That I am the top martial artist, that I'm Christ? Well, in popular culture, there was a movie called Undisputed, and it had Wesley Snipes and Vin Rhames. And it was about a guy who went to prison, and he was the boxing champion in prison or whatever. And obviously martial arts isn't boxing, but we'll get to that. Okay, and the champion, the stated champion of the world, is much bigger. It's Vin Rhames, so on and so forth. To make a long story short, Wesley Snipes won, right? And he was not famous, okay? And how people knew that he was going to win, how people gave him his respect, had to do with logic. They said, logically, this guy, okay, who's this prison boxer, who's not known, is better than the heavyweight champion of the world. And what overkilled that he was better than him was the word undisputed. Okay, how do we know that I'm the top martial artist ever possible? Well, I have world record speed. I'm smarter than other people. There's character, there's heart, okay. But also that I'm undisputed. The representatives from every martial arts system you've ever heard of, that you might think would have some semblance of a chance against me, okay, have conceded by their actions and sometimes by their words that I'm the top martial artist ever possible. These are people whose pride is extreme. Their pride goes as far as the eye can see. There's no way on earth that they would sit there twiddling their thumbs while in California, not in Oklahoma or Arkansas or Alaska or Iowa or Maine, but in California, that I go on and on about how I'm the top martial artist ever, handing out flyers and cards and so on and so forth, okay? Making thousands of videos, commenting on thousands of martial art videos, saying, I challenge you, I'm the top martial artist ever, to a legal and peaceful sparring challenge. There's no way that they would sit there twiddling their thumbs. I am undisputed. And I offer up to $10 million if compensated, $60,000 if not, for a couple minutes sparring challenge in the park. No one in their right mind would say $60,000 for a couple minutes of sparring isn't enough. Pay nothing if you lose. Pay nothing if you lose. Beat every challenger, okay, while sabotaged, while fumed and poisoned with over 23 witnesses on record. Undisputed. Okay, not just all talk or limited to some private league or something. Undisputed. As the son of 2 doctors, one a brain surgeon, and my mother a National Merit Scholar and a general surgeon. Far more intelligent than any martial artist you ever heard of. Undisputed. Mind, body, soul, spirit. Martial arts is about building character, the heart to emerge and insist on what is right and to tell the truth when no other martial artist in known history has ever done that. Not a single one. Undisputed. Never forget that. I am Christ, the way, the truth, and the life. And these scriptures overkill that I am. What are we talking about? We're talking about Exodus 15:3, the Lord is aware, the Lord is his name. Revelation 19, okay, coming back, waging war with righteousness and justice. In Revelation 19, we see that they're alluding to 1 Samuel 17, and Christ said he's the root and offspring of David and the bright morning star, okay, which in its truest interpretation is the sun. And the sun in Psalm 19 is referred to as the bridegroom and the champion. Undisputed. The most important martial art challenge in history, as technology ruins all martial art challenges in the future. This is the end of being a warrior, the end of true morality, true maturity, true love, true justice, true righteousness, the end of all the principles of life in martial arts. So basically, after Isaiah talks about Isaiah 41, where the top martial artist in God's spirit defeats his enemies, in principle and in spirit, where it really matters, right? You die anyway, but principles, right? How you live your life, your heart, your justice, your righteousness, okay? Your loyalty to God, okay? So it says, so after he talks about this, he talks about false idols anyway. So he says, he hands nations over to him and subdues kings before him. He turns them to dust with his sword, to wind-blown chaff with his bow. He pursues them and moves on unscathed by a path his feet have not traveled before. Who has done this and carried it through, calling forth the generations from the beginning, I, the Lord, with the first of them and with the last. The islands have seen it and fear, and the ends of the earth tremble. They approach and come forward. And then it goes on to talk about craftsmen building false idols. And these days, everyone seems to be the offspring of a nerd or a craftsman, not of a true warrior. And you know by the works, you know to some degree by the natural shape. Now, they've been fuming and poisoning me, and that's a story for another day. But you know that they can't beat me, like you know a deer can't beat a leopard. Okay, the craftsman children like the offspring of a deer or a pig or a dog. Compare that to the leopard shape, right? The leopard, the great hunter. Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. I'm the top martial artist ever possible. And you people are following mere false idols because you're not as wise as I am. You're not as insightful. You don't have good judgment. You don't have a strong heart. You don't appreciate the martial art principles. That's also how you know they can't beat me. Because they appreciate the martial art principles, they would emerge, right? Emergency, emerge in C. Urgency, your gene C. Thank you.